Okay. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner Classic. That's known classics. This is episode number 2014 Doubleshot number 1908. Got two Marvel trades. First is a mini-series. The other one is basically issues from an ongoing series that are published back in the 80s. First up, we have Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Now, you're probably thinking, Nick, is this an advertisement for the Galaxy Edge Star Wars land? Not really. My guess is this miniseries is a take on Tales from the Mos Eisley Spaceport miniseries. This is Marvel's take on it, but included just various different tales. And, each issue... Now, the whole miniseries on Ethan Stacks, Will Seeley on the artwork. Each issue always focuses on somebody else. Now, the first issue is focused on Han Solo and Chewbacca. That's the focus of the first issue. Now, you're probably thinking, where they have they at? Some planet that has Imperials on it. But based upon the style of uniform, this is probably set before the events of The Force Awakens. Possibly, because this is when they still had the Millennium Falcon. I would say this is definitely set during that time period. That's my guess is where you would probably set this because of the Stormtrooper helmets. Yeah, this is the first order ones. The second issue is focused on Greedo. Yes, Greedo, a character was killed by Han Solo in the original movie. Yep. So we have an issue focused on him. Okay. I did not really expect that. First off, we have a flashback to basically the events of Revenge of the Sith, where Kai Mundo gets killed during the Order 66 incident, where they managed to kill a lot of Jedi. Yes, this was a order implanted by the Emperor, apparently prior to the events of Clone Wars. And I remember during the show itself, they actually had one of them his Order 66 chip actually activate. But when they had clone troopers pop up in Rebels, which of course Keenan was not trusted because they're clone troopers, they did mention the chips basically to activate it was removed, so they have to do no problem. Yep. Interesting issue because on Greedo. This is definitely before the events of New Hope. Yes. Long before New Hope. It's mostly him getting hands on a lightsaber. Yep. Yeah, and you could say what this leads me better. Not really sure. And then basically next issue focus on Hondo. Now, if you're not familiar with this guy appeared on Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and he appeared on Rebels. Yes. I think it was the same actor who voiced him. He's a space pirate who, by the time the Empire rose up, basically a lot of his empire fell apart because he lost a lot of his territory thanks to the Empire. And, of course, he interacts with the Guardian Wills. Yes, the characters who appear, the monk who appeared in Rogue One, he appears in issue 2. So, this is definitely set before the events of Rogue One. Yes, that's what this issue is set. And here he is. Yeah. He's a monk who basically is one of the Guardian Wills. He's a follower of the Force, and he's blind. Yes, he is blind. And then the end issue leads to the events of the very next issue, which is appearance by Dr. Aphra. Yes, an original character from the Marvel comic, the new line of Star Wars comics from Marvel Comics. Yeah, she's an original character. I like this character purely because she's different, and I don't know why she gets some hate. I don't really get it. She's interesting. Yep. So this whole issue is focused on her. And we did follow this blonde woman. She popped up in issue 1. And we follow her, and this whole thing is about getting her hands in this lightsaber. Yep. And of course we see the famous I think it's IG-88. He pops up here. And then we see, for some strange reason, the issue leads to a guest appearance by Kylo Ren. Yes. Based on the scar on his face, this is probably just absence of this is probably either based upon his appearance here, I'd say because he doesn't have his helmet back, I think this is after Last Jedi. Yes. So apparently Dr. Aphra is alive by the time of, well, Last Jedi. Apparently. How the heck is she still alive? Don't know. And after dealing with these various Force Order troops, and then apparently she gets away. And then apparently we end with basically like this really good shot here. But yeah, this was a pretty good miniseries. I got handed to Ethan Stacks. Did a great job with this. And it's something that the guy basically would write a Star Wars ongoing series. Bounty Hunters. Which he still does. I get this book a 9.5 out of 10. Next up is classic stuff here. We have X-Men From the Ashes. This collects issues 168 to 176 of Uncanny X-Men. Written by Chris Claremont. Artwork by... Okay, you're going to love these artist names. Who are? We have Paul Smith, Walter Simonson, and John Romita Jr. By the way, this cover here, that's by Arthur Adams. The back cover artwork, that's pages from the interior. Now, we have a bunch of stuff happening in just these 9 issues. We have the appearance by the Morlocks, where they kidnap Angel, strip him down to the underwear, and we also have, in those issues, we have Storm challenging Callisto for the leadership of the Morlocks. She wins. Briefly stays with the Morlocks. We also see stuff with Madeline Pryor. We see her debut, her relationship building with Scott Summers leading to their wedding. We also see Storm get a mohawk. Yes, we see that. We also see Logan briefly get engaged. Well, he actually got engaged after of the Wolverine miniseries done by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller. This is a follow-up to that. And like the marriage was going to happen, and the marriage was called out by Marco for Wolverine being unworthy, despite the fact she was manipulated by Mastermind. And Wolverine confronted her about it, she just didn't want to budge on it. And despite the fact they kind of love each other. Also, apparently, Viper was involved with this for some reason. Yet, here's the thing. Viper ended up briefly married to Wolverine in the early 2000s. Yes, in a story called Blood Wedding, where they briefly got married just so she could control Hydra. And then all he has is one thing. A divorce, which he got. No problem. Yeah. You think of though, like, oh yeah, there's also more stuff of a Hellfire Club in here. But isn't something of 8 issues and a lot of stuff happens in 8 issues? This book is great. I give this book a 10 out of 10. It's purely fantastic. Yeah. Also, we do see Wolverine versus Silver Samurai, which is awesome. Those of you curious about Silver Samurai, he is Marco's half-brother. Yes. Which they did loosely adapt a little bit some story from this one and a little bit from Wolverine for an episode of X-Men animated series. Mariko Yoshido is one of Wolverine's longtime girlfriends, and she was dead for some period of time, and then she was brought back in the Old Man Logan series. And here's the thing: apparently here's the strange thing. Her nephew, apparently she doesn't know she has a nephew at all. Because the Silver Samurai apparently doesn't know he has an illegitimate son. Yes, that's the thing with the Silver Samurai. He actually is illegitimate. Yeah, he's illegitimate, and his son is illegitimate too. Yeah, and his son was basically a creation of Jason Aaron during his final arc he did on Wolverine. It's like one last thing he did, create the Silver Samurai's son. He killed him off at the start of his run. So why not have him a son? And here's the thing. Apparently he does not want to interact at all with his beautiful aunt, Mariko. Which, I don't know why. And in case you're curious though, is Silver Samurai alive despite the fact that he got killed off in 2010? Yes, for some reason, the writer of the last run for Cable by Gary Duggan, he got resurrected thanks to Krakatoa stuff. Yeah, despite the fact he got killed by a bunch of ninjas at his home. Yes, Mark got killed at some other point in time. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly it for this particular review. Next up is Chainsaw Man, and hopefully if I get time, the Great Jaw and Undefeated. Okay, next video. Bye.